This is what happens when you cross me.
Jesus Christ. That was something. So, episode 3 of season 2 called X's and O's, or X's and O's. Why did I say that? I don't. This episode gives us a look on Moxxie's family and his relationship with his father, because, well, he is
he's part of the big mafia, if you know what I mean. You don't want to upset the big man, you know what I mean?
and with some mixed elements of a ex-partner that dated both Moxxie and Millie.
My man.
Are you fucking kidding me? There's someone who's fucked both of you?
I know. Surprisingly, he got with both of them, somehow. The Chad Shark Chaz. And he's been brought in because Chaz is going to be part of the family. Moxxie's family. Well, Crimson wants Moxxie to, well, marry him so he can get his newfound wealth. But there are some snagging problems, such as, well, he's already married. Well, I think you know where this is going. But I was more focused on the relationship with Moxxie and his father than the actual side plot because that was just more interesting to me. That's just my preference. And Crimson, Moxxie's father, is also voiced by Richard Horvitz. That's already got extra points for having more Richard Horvitz. I'm sorry, that just gets more points. And, well, I think it's safe to say that Crimson might not be the best dad of the whole family, if not the worst out of the main cast. I mean, we've had Stolas' dad and his negligence of his son, forcing him to do a false marriage, and then we have Blitz's dad, who manipulates Blitz to steal from the rich, and using his mum's illness as a crutch to get him to do what he wants. And we have Moxxie's dad, who is not only abusive, but also isn't quite understanding of his son's preferences. And also making his own son when he was younger take care, take care of Moxxie's mother. Actually, it's not Moxxie's mother, but the shoe was floating up. That's his mother's shoe, right? Yes, but I believe that was more thematic to the terms of innocence dying, and Moxxie is being brought into this big bad world in terms, where his father has more full control of his son, and is only going to get worse from there. And besides, the tail pattern's different, along with the body shape of the victim. Granted, the idea of making his own son unaliving his own mother would be very traumatic. It'd be quite a dark tone in this episode. He could have muffled her mouth, put her in different clothes, and chopped off her horn so Moxxie wouldn't recognize her? Good lord! What? Are you saying he wouldn't do that? I mean, that's not inaccurate, but that's a bit far-fetched to assume for the viewers, don't you agree? Perhaps she grew tired of it and was forced to leave the family? Okay, but for real though, I do find it a little bit, how do I put this very politely? I just feel like the whole notion of abusive parents is being it's being used a bit too much. Yes, there's different variations of abuse, such as mental, physical, psychological, emotional. That's totally understandable. There are different variations. There's no, one specific thing. There's different variations. Completely understandable. Because if you keep using the same kind of beat for every character or majority of them, it doesn't make them unique or dynamic. They all feel the same. Maybe different textures, but it's still in the same kind of variant, if you get me. I mean, Jesus Christ! Does anyone not have daddy issues? Well, aside from Millie. Speaking of Millie, we'll get back to her in a second. Then we're introduced to Chaz, the self-absorbed shark who's dated both Millie and Moxxie, who has stumbled upon riches I mentioned before, and now is being brought into Moxxie's family. And Chaz himself as a character, he's alright. The actor has some fun lines with him. My only one complaint is, during when the gangs all split into their own separate rooms, the part where Chaz is trying to, woo Moxxie with a song, because he likes musicals. I wasn't feeling it. I get the point and all, but I feel like the time could have been used for, a small transitional scene of Millie and Moxxie. A kind of montage of, how they met and stuff. Nothing against Chaz, just, I wasn't feeling that scene. Rest in peace, Shark Boy. So we got to see a little bit of Moxxie's childhood. Moxxie was coddled. His mum picked up after him. And, well, she didn't want Moxxie to be
part of the family business.
Which then, well, I think you get the picture. And with her gone, Crimson can then use Moxxie for his, family business and control him, basically. And keep that control. Okay, I need to point this out. The lighting and the cleanup in this episode was really top notch. No disrespect to, the previous episodes, but holy hell, this one was more like refined. Like from the IMP office to like the scene with Millie and Moxxie like comforting each other. Like, that was really good. Like, it was good lighting. I was like, yeah, man, like, this is some good stuff. Like, this is really upping it a bit. I do like the lighting. I do hope they keep that kind of consistency with that, because it does look really great. But to the cleanup artists, you all done a great job. This is phenomenal. Everyone did a great job. And of course, the animation where Millie is just going all hell's loose on the wedding, you know, that was awesome. Just seeing her just raising hell in hell. Yeah, that makes sense, right? That makes sense, right? Now, I do have to add some things. Moxxie has now had 2 episodes dealing with family members, both Millie's and his father. Like, it'd be nice to have more fully dedicated episodes towards Millie or Luna. I mean, yeah, it was brutal seeing Millie just take on the mob bosses, you know, gang, completely just destroy them. We've already had this established that Millie is badass. She's strong, committed, and overall a great partner. We've seen this. It's awesome. But we've not seen much of her, if you get me. I've seen a lot on Twitter as well, like, she's been mostly seen as, to some fans, as just the wife. You know, the wife with a crazy temper. Heck, she was even robbed of her own episode back in season 1. Like, they were at her family's farm, and somehow Moxxie was the main focus. Well, one of the more closer to the main focus, not Millie. Normally when you have an episode based on a character's, like, homeland, or, like, their family's home, you're focused on that character, for the most part. It's kind of bizarre. I understand at this time of recording this particular video I'm doing, Vivzy made a little tweet thread discussing this topic. Which, I get her point. Millie may not have a large spotlight as the lads, but she's not a piece of cardboard. We've seen her in various moods and personalities shine through in various episodes. From her hyperactive behaviour, for her caring and supportive nature, to her blood rage. So she's definitely got stuff there. It's not like she's just a background character. She has some elements showing through in her personality. I mean, we've seen her very dedicated and loyal to Moxxie. We understand that to a high degree. She's caring, supportive, bubbly, excitable, has a lot of various charms to her. But we've not seen much of her character in terms of her interests or herself in general. But she is lacking in episodes dedicated to her. I'm not denying that. Same with Luna. I mean, she gets her moments, like in Seeing Stars. Is that the name of it? Seeing Stars? Yeah. Does everyone get their equal amount of, like, you know, episode time, if you get me? But Vivzy has said she's got stuff in the works, so it'd be nice to see that come out. We are in season 2. Yeah, out of what, 10 episodes in total? Well, 11 technically with season 1's finale. Yeah, but again, it's 10 episodes. We've still got plenty of time to get those Millie and Luna episodes. So seeing Moxxie meet Blitz, which I liked, but I wish we got a little more out of it. Like, I'm not expecting it to take up the whole episode, but I thought it'd be nice to get more of, like, these two in their exchanges. Like, Moxxie is just trying to figure out, like, what to do with his life now. Meanwhile, Blitz is just nagging him. Kind of like, I say Shrek, because this is kind of referencing Shrek a little bit with the wedding, but make it like Shrek. Moxxie is Shrek, and Blitz is Donkey. What a weird comparison I made. But I feel like when Blitz mentioned that he had a kid, Luna, to Moxxie that shows that he is a caring guy who has something outside his life that he cares for. Moxxie, with his, well, backstory, he would be more sympathetic to work with this guy. He's like, he has a kid, he wants to make sure she's safe. That's a big step up compared to his dad. So, hey, why not? And which could also be a key motivator to why he would help Blitz get out of jail, maybe. And he mentioned that he left her with a babysitter. Now, some assume that the babysitter is Millie, and that could work, because if it was her, hypothetically, it'd be nice if we got just extra few minutes of, like, Blitz and Moxxie are making their way back to Blitz's home, and Blitz is just trying to relax, and he tries to see Luna, you know, make sure she's okay. And then while he's doing that, Moxxie just stares into Millie. He's just completely, like, starstruck. Like, he is just seeing heaven for the first time. Ironic. Like, time is in slow motion. Seeing Millie maybe playing with Luna, or just Millie in general, and Millie could look back at him, give him a warm welcome. This could rekindle an old flame of Moxxie's, maybe. And since Blitz hasn't got enough room in his house, Millie may offer a place for him to stay for a bit, and she takes him home, and, well, I think you know where I'm going with this. I'm a child. Just a couple of extra minutes of this flashback could have done wonders. Or maybe they should have saved this moment in flashback to a different episode. Because I thought this episode would show us, like, how Moxxie and Millie met. Maybe in a flashback, like in a song, with Moxxie singing about his life in, like, a short, like, minute or two song. Showing the progress in his personality and his life and finding actual happiness again when he's more closer and connected with Millie. Like, say Crimson's doing business near Millie's parents' farm. Like, say they're, I don't know, burying a few loose ends or making some deals with people, and he's told to wait by the barn or something, and then you hear rustling in the barn, in the hay. Bam! You got young Millie and young Sally Mae, and they're both just like wrestling, you know, just typical like stuff they do. And then Millie, I don't know, kicks Sally Mae away, and then she notices them. Just befriend them, just say hi. And I would imagine a young Millie would be so hyperactive, a little kid on sugar, like Mac from Foster's Home. But Moxxie, he is just sitting there, not saying a thing, just staring down. Doesn't want to make eye contact. He's afraid to make any wrong move because his father, well, we've seen him show a heavy hand in punishments, especially with his words, echoing in his head.
This is what happens when you cross me.
In case you don't know, the stuff in the mafia ain't so nice. But then Millie sees that he's very afraid. He's scared. She's trying to like be gentle. And then say Sally Mae tries to jump him, and Millie grabs her by her horns and just tosses her up in the air. You know, and just giving them time to be alone. And eventually, he does come around. The way she acts, or the way she tries to take care of him, it could be reminiscent of his mother who left. A kind person, making sure he's okay. Making sure he's, you know, safe. Break out of his father's hold and be happy. Something in the lines of, you know, the beginning of Up. You know, when they're kids. I wanted that. That's exactly what I wanted. Because, my god, if that's canon to me and to many people, and I'm sticking to it. Just a shy, quiet boy who lacks confidence and meets a nice, wild, enthusiastic girl who helps him be more open, confident, and well, the two grow a bond, experiencing many memorable moments. I'm all about speculating different ideas of what things could have done, but just because I say this, that doesn't mean I'm against the episode, okay? So, your overall thoughts? I thought it was fine. I was just kind of expecting more out of something like, oh shit, we're meeting Moxxie's dad, and it's gonna maybe interlink with Moxxie's relationship, and Millie will get involved. You know, because she should have some say in it. I mean, I enjoyed seeing more of Moxxie, and I loved hearing more of Richard Horvitz. Again, you can't get enough of him. You know, like, the animation and the cleanups are good. Like, good. Like, when I first saw the scenes in the office, I was like, whoa, the lighting here is pretty good. Like, damn. Like, can we get this as a default? Like, Jesus. No discredit to the previous episodes of the seasons, but this is looking pretty good. If we kept this to, like, the minimum, that'd be good. I liked it. And this, again, certain particular scenes, like when Millie's just destroying the mafia. Yeah, that looked great. That was a lot of fun. Seeing Moxxie and Millie, like, hold each other and confront each other. The lighting and stuff, that looked nice. The episode as a whole, I didn't hate it, but I'm not like, oh, it's like top tier. It's like, it's about okay. I like seeing more of Moxxie's backstory, along with his family, with his dad, the dynamics of the relationship, and what happened. But I do wish we got to see more with Millie, you know, being involved in the family. It was cool seeing her, you know, beat up all the mob bosses, just tearing them up like limb from limb. Yeah, fun. But I just wish she had more to do and not just her regular thing of, you know, being a badass. Because, well, we know she's badass, but we want to see more of her character. That's what I'm trying to say. So, again, like, I'm not saying the episode was bad. I enjoyed it, but I'm not in love with it, if you get me. It's just alright. It's alright to me. Maybe I'm missing something. Well, I'm sure the comments will tell you. Yeah, I'm kind of expecting that myself. Yeah, we'll see. So, this has been Drew. Those are my views, and I bid you adieu.